Day 88, 8:05, Saturday morning. Let's have a quick run through what took place yesterday. I had a bit of an eventful one last night. Everyone gets paid on a Friday. So the owner turns up normally about 4:35 to give out people's wages, like we did in the 80s. And there's a bit of a situation with regards to people and their money. Technically, a lot of guys have been turning up late, clocking in early, leaving early. And I think he made a point of just adjusting people's wages accordingly, and not a lot of people are happy. So hopefully that's not going to affect how many people arrive today. But anyway, that's something we'll deal with later on. We pretty much filmed where we were last night anyway, but I'll spin it around and show you what we've done so far today. Yesterday, should I say. So this is a slab that they poured yesterday, painstakingly by hand. You can see the thickness of it. So that was poured yesterday by hand. Now that's been done, they can start the block work all the way around here, around the actual manhole area, access area over there, all the way around, join this wall. They'll block all the way along there as well, this piece, and then they'll get into filling that with marl. So the Bobcat guy today, I say today, he's not actually today, doesn't do Saturday, but he'll take the marl from here, make a bit of a ramp, and then start digging this out to get into there. However, the swimming pool's got to be finished off first. Excuse the wind, because it's quite windy today. They've obviously marked out now where the jets are going to go. So the jets are literally going to be placed along here, facing upwards. So rather than having jets on the side of the pool, we're actually going to have them on the floor facing upwards to get that water flowing that way, and to keep I don't know what they call it, but rather than an unsettled surface, it'll be a smooth surface. That's where the two drains will go. So there's going to be two drains down the bottom. Be one here and one here. Not too sure what that is. That's probably the access areas for the pipe work. That's where the pump room's going to be. And then the water will come into here when it's at level, and will be pumped around back through here into the pump room. So the pump room will have its own electric supply. It'll have its own. That's all got to be cut up to code. It's got to be inspected, and also the pump for the fresh water to the house will also be housed in here as well. And I think they're talking about putting some form of access hatch at the top. It was meant to be on the side, so you walked off, pulled up a man cover, and then went down, but they've not done that. So I'm sure there's a reason why, but that does mean that the patio surface have to have some form of access cover put onto it, as will these two, because these two again were meant to have a manhole cover on the other side there that you would walk off the patio, open the lid and climb down in, but that's not there either. So we're going to have to find a couple of pleasant looking camouflaged access hatches. That one's been done though, as you've seen. They've actually separately poured this one. So there's actually an access hatch that will go up to height, and you will literally come off and go into that one. But obviously I have no choice, because that is obviously underneath what in effect is going to be the house, the annex. So that was done. Obviously yesterday we said about this has all been rebarred. This area here has all been rebarred and all the smocks have been put in. That's now waiting to be poured. So again, manually today, they'll be pouring that, which is very slow. We've got a couple of cuts in the floor material as well, which need to patch up. Any holes in the DPM need to be patched, obviously. So that's there. And upstairs, as I showed yesterday, it's quite windy up here, so do forgive me. Yeah, no real massive change, but it's been around the kitchen services. We've run across, so that's where the breakfast bar will be. This part here is with the fridge. This is the laundry room. That's one of the bathrooms, and that's one of the en-suites over there. So, morning. I think on here we're pretty much done. All the actual, I've still got to put some supports along here to try and hold this in. the electricians have put their trunking in as well, because the electricians have got to try and run all of their electrical cabling through as well. So some of this, for instance, that one there, they're electric feeds. There's quite a few electric feeds. Anything that's got tape on the top of it, as far as I'm aware, is electrics. That's just so they can try and run all of their lighting and power into each room. Everything goes through these block holes, and then eventually they're filled with concrete. So once they're filled with concrete, they're not putting anything else in. So they're quite keen to make sure they get what they can in before pour. Otherwise, it's then done, and they're drilling holes through concrete, which is obviously not going to be fun. So yes, we'll find out how many arrived today. So far, it's 8:05, 10:08 now, and there's only actually 3 to 4 people on site, and there's normally 8, 10, 12 by now. See the head mason's just turned up, so he's coming over to assess the storage, water tank storage area. So I'm sure he's going to crack on with setting that out. Other than that, that's about it. So I'll check in a bit later on. 11 o'clock and the rain's about to start. Quick update. Electricians and plumbers still upstairs, napping out their stuff. Concrete boys, 2 concrete mixers going. A lot better than yesterday. 2 mixers, 1, 2, 3 people, 4 people. Take a picture of the boss. You're not getting a good rate, by the way. No more than 8 year day for him. We're now pouring in here, but obviously it's now peeing down the rain. Oh, that's hard. Okay, so we've still got plenty to do. Fewer staff on site today, that's for sure. See them flood. It's coming down really heavy. Jesus.
That mixer, the beer cut, that mixer, the hollow. Yes.
Quick update, 12:17. Rain stopped, guys are back on it again. Let's have a look here. Up on the roof. Russell, up on the roof. So plumbers are still trying to work out what they're doing. Downside is I've actually got the rebar guys up here still working on the rebar whilst these guys are trying to do the floor. So the rebar guys should have finished a while ago. They are causing a few problems.
When is the thing finished?
I don't know, I thought they were finished. We need to get them over. That's the guy running it there, one the blue hat.
They want me to finish?
Yeah.
They can't do it.
So ask him, he's the one running it, so they need to do the floor first. The rest of my point. All the time the guys are still playing around with the floor, it makes it very difficult for guys to run. I mean, you see all the conduit there, they're running conduit through the floor, through the walls. So they need things finished so they can crack on doing what they've got to do. Otherwise, every time they lace something, more steel goes on top and it causes them problems. So up here at the moment, we have electrical, he's electrical, they're electrical, these are rebar guys, these are electrical as well, and these guys are plumbing. And all this is trying to get done so that they can actually pour the floor. So as you can see all these holes, go along a little bit further and you see that this is plumbing. So there's feeds coming from downstairs that will be feeding over there, and over there. Plus, they've obviously got to feed the main house upstairs here as well. So they're trying to all work in amongst each other. But they need certain things to be finished. Otherwise, they're all working amongst each other and working over each other, which is clearly not going to work. What else? Okay, so the boss is here. And he's actually over there with the boys. Like he's getting involved in concrete work. They're waiting on stone. That stone is what they put into the concrete. They were meant to have had a delivery about 2 hours ago, and they're still waiting, so they're now running very low. And that's the stone that they actually mix with the concrete, and that is what goes into a wheelbarrow that gets poured all along here. So as you can see, they've only managed to get about a third of this run done, and they've got to do the whole run today. These guys are delivering more blocks. Blocks are going to be needed for building this up to height, building this up to height, building that whole thing in there, finishing this wall here to the end, and obviously all the footings along there, and then a major wall going from here all the way along. The pool's still got to be dug out, so we've got to dig out 3-inch holes for the jets and all the drainage, and then this evening the pool guys come in to install everything, and then the rebar guys are getting in there and they'll rebar the whole floor area, tie that into all the sides, put all the earthing straps in that will go into the actual pump room, and those earthing straps will obviously connect to that main grid on the swimming pool floor. Then that needs to be poured as well, like this, and then after that's gone off, then they block up on top of that concrete. So that's another thing that's holding us up here. And then once that wall's taken, all the walls are taken to height, they're then going to take the rebar across to here, over to here, and over to here. Same here as well, all the way to this wall, from this wall over to that wall. There's a column being built all the way through the middle here. Sorry, a beam being built all the way across here with columns to support the slab up in the air. So yeah, loads to do. And a lack of time to do it, because we were meant to be pouring everything on Monday, which is obviously we keep on saying it's just not going to happen. So we're hoping no later than sort of maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. But we need material, we need wood, we need ply, we need concrete. Yeah, pretty much need everything. And staff. We've got a lack of staff on site, so we're waiting for people to turn up. So anyway, the will and the want's there, so fingers crossed, things will change in the next hour.